Hey guys, how you going? Wayne from Living with Bikes. Today we've got a couple of things going on. Mark behind me here is at last going to fix his headlight on his DR650, which no fault of his own, but he's been waiting for it. They put it on back order and it's come in, so he's going to do that. He is wearing his motorbike gear, not because that's what he does when he fixes bikes, but he rode down on his bike to do it, so his other bike. So we'll have a quick look at that, and then I'll show you what I'm up to. All right. So as you can see, well, that's what we're replacing today. We're going to take that out, and they're not really that hard on this bike, to be honest. You take this cover off, which Mark's doing now, and then everything's pretty much exposed, and it shouldn't take him too long at all to fix her up. There's that part of it. That looks like a little bag to hold goodies, but it's actually just to hold the wiring, keep it a little bit waterproof. So from what I can see, looks like he's probably got 4 bolts, 2 either side, and then it'll probably come out. He's just got to disconnect the back of the headlight, because the actual globe on this bike, I think you can see in there, the actual globe got smashed by the rock, which was absolutely unbelievable. We had a great chuckle about that. So it was a really 1 in a million hit. So Mark will get on with that. I'll show you what I'm doing today, and then we'll come back and see how Mark's going when he's got it all back together. Alright, so down here, it's the good old girl. This is the CB 1000F 1990 model. You've probably seen this a couple of times already. So what I'm doing today is we're trying to standardise a few of the bikes, or all of the bikes. So when we're out trying to do a bit of filming for you, or we're running GPSs on bikes and things like that, when we don't really know where we're going, we're trying to standardise so we can swap from bike to bike and make it a lot easier for us. And what I'm going to do today, this hole here, that's all it is, it's just a hole that goes down. You can actually see down the bottom of it. I can see the mudguard down through that hole. We're going to put a ball mount that comes up here. Now I'll show you what that looks like on one of the other bikes. Okay, so I'm in the shed now with the Blackbird, which featured on one of my videos a little while ago. So what I've done here, just the handlebar around a little bit. What I've done here, ignore this for the minute, this is just a USB. Now one of the things about USBs, I just want to, while I've got it here, I'll explain why, the reasons. When you're wiring USBs up to go on your motorbike, always wire them so they're off the key. Now, you just saw the blue light come on then. The reason why I say that is that that light doesn't draw very much current, as we all know, but it does draw current, and if you leave it on there for any amount of time, motorbike batteries, while they're quite good, they don't last very long if you leave that little light glowing all the time. If you're using it every single day, or every day, you'd probably get away with it. But like most of us, our bikes might sit for a couple of weeks, if not even more, and unless you disconnect the battery, you'll find that you'll come back and have a flat one. So that's just a little tip. Wire them to, this one here is wired to the ignition on the fuse side of the battery, so I just lift the seat and joined it onto the ignition side, so when the ignition comes on, it comes on. It's actually connected to the headlight, which, as you know, as I said a couple of videos or a video ago or so, in now I've forgotten, put myself on the spot. Anyway, when this bike came out, the headlight comes on as you start the bike. I think it was 2003 when that happened. So as this bike, as the ignition goes on, because there's no, on this side there's no no button to turn your headlight off and on. So as the ignition comes on and the headlight comes on, it comes on. Because on a Blackbird, I know I'm waffling now, but on a Blackbird, if you turn the key on, it just, I've got the indicator on there. Alright, so you got the key on. It's not until you flick this button here. Now I'm pretty sure you would have heard that. This red light come on. Do it once more. Right, so that's the fuel injection system, and that only comes on once you hit that button. So you can basically, it's just like it's on accessories if you had your radio on in the car. So that's how I wire it, and the headlight will be on like a Parker, low beam, until it fires up. Anyway, so turn that off. That was just a little bit. So what I do is, this again is a bit like the other CBR, where it has a hollow bit. It's a smaller hole, but it's a hollow. So what I do is I go on the lathe and I make a tapered shaft about so long, and then I put them in there, and then I simply whack them with a rubber mallet and just make a squeeze fit. That's all it is. So if I ever want it out, I can just bang it out, back out again. But, there is one you can buy that has like a cut shaft, and as you screw it, it pushes against the thing. But that works just fine. I had it on my other one, CBR I had many years ago, worked great. So I'm going to make another one of these right now for the other CBR, and then we'll come in and I'll show you how I tap them in. You don't have to go crazy bashing them. I tap them in and they stay there forever. They never ever come loose because I do a very fine taper. So we'll go and do that, and then we'll come back, fit it on, and I'll show you what it is we're trying to achieve. Alright, let's get into making a ram ball out of aluminium. So this here is the measurement of the hole. So I know that, wrong one, sorry. That is the measurement of the hole on the bike. As you can see, that one there already fits, so I know that that's my play area that I've got to make it. So there's not a lot of area there. Okay, so it looks like we're there. What I'll do now is I'll just lathe this down here a little bit, just to give it a nice, bit of a nice look, because the ball will sit up a little bit. Now I've got a ball here. So I roughly just look and see what I need. I might step it down a little bit. I'll show you how I do that. So you do it from about here onwards. Okay, I've been out. I measured it on the bike, and what it showed me was it was only going down to about here in that hole, and then it was getting stuck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of more cuts in here to get that to come down a bit further. I want it down, if I can get it down to there, I'll be happy. So that's what we'll do. Now there's a couple of ways of doing it, and I might do it the other way, so I'll show you that now. Okay. Now that thing I just did then, I don't advise anyone to do it, so it's not something that I say is a tip, because if you're like this and you either hit one of these or the file comes back enough and hits that, it's the most violent thing that can happen to you when you're working on a lathe, other than you actually hitting that yourself. It really hurts and jars your hand, so not advisable, but people that have been using these for years, they do it all the time. Anyway, I'll go and see if this works. So we've got some resemblance to a ball there. And then what I'll do now is, in actual fact, I noticed that it was still a bit thick in the shank there. So I will bring this back, we'll line it back up again. When you're doing one-offs like this, it's all a little bit of a trial and error. Not so much an error, but just you need to sort of keep going until you get it where you want. Alright, that gives us more of a ball. Okay, so here's the end result. So what I've done, I've just put a bit of tape around it, because I find that helps grip a little bit better as well. So pretty much that's what we've made. And now when I want to go from bike to bike, they've all got this part of it, so then I just swap it from one to the other to the other. Which is what I can do now. You can waddle straight in. Walk straight up to the DR, and it has its ball ready to go. There's a homemade arm that I've made for my GoPro mount. Then we can come straight over, go straight down to the CBR, and it's got its one on. Now, the two bikes that I haven't so far done, well, that gives me three. So it gives me the CBR, it gives me the DR, and it gives me the CBR Blackbird. The other two bikes, which is this one under here, which is the 1400, it's got its own mechanism. It's mainly for putting the GPS and my phone. So here's all the bits and pieces. So that's the cover for my phone. It's got the GPS ball. This is a mount that I made. And then that's my GPS, my TomTom outside one, or bike one. And that will slide up into there. And then I know someone is going to say, but then you can't power it. But TomTom, in their wisdom, made another outlet in there. So you can run a line across into there. So that gives me those. And that's really all I need, are those few bits. As long as I've got a GPS, which I can also get from the phone if I need to. The GPS and a phone, I'm pretty much right. So, and now I've got the three bikes that I want to use them on, all set up and ready to go. Okay, so Mark's only been working on this for 3 or 4 minutes, and he's already got the new headlight in. Did you plug it in, Mark?
Yeah.
Yep. Did you try it? Yep, that's working. How's that? Oh, yeah, both of them. The only reason why I asked that question is because I gave him a new globe to put in it.
Sorry.
Which I took out of one of my old car headlights. And I wasn't sure whether or not it was going to work. But it's worked fine. Just turn the key off. What Mark was doing then was spraying WD-40 on the wiring pack, and that, I mean, most people nowadays know what it means. It's water displacement, and it was made by NASA years and years ago. but it works very well on wiring and things like that, lubrication. What are you struggling with there, Mark?
No, got it.
Oh, getting the bolt out. So there you go. So really just a headlight replacement, and he replaced the whole bracket, the whole lot, is not really a big deal.
Big plug to Vince Strang. They were the only ones that had one, and then it was delayed from China. And they kept me sending emails as to where it was, and then when it came they sent me one, so that was really good.
Yeah, so Vince Strand, that's where it come from, and as Mark said, gives them a plug because they kept him in the loop, which is always nice when you're waiting on a part for your bike, isn't it? You know, some people just take your money and then you never hear from them until they've got it, so that was nice.
They rang and then sent emails, so
yeah, so looking after their customer base, which is really good. Alright, cool. Well, Mark will finish off putting that on, and I don't, was there anything else you had to do this today?
the front rim locker.
Ah, the front rim locker. What do you mean get time? You're on holidays, Mark. You got all the time in the world. Not that I'm telling you how to do it, but you've still got
this one to do.
Oh no, hang on, sorry. There you go. I thought he had the bolt still in. We often make it a, not a rule, but we often make it a thing where when you take a bolt out of something, when you're pulling it apart, we screw the bolt back in.
I do.
And Mark does it as well. And that's simply because,
You don't lose it.
you know, you come back to it and you think, oh no, where's all those bolts I needed? So we just, one of the little things we do, and especially if you're out in the bush, because if you drop something and you've pulled it apart, you won't find it. So we sort of, that's how we do it. Makes it a bit safer for us. Anyway, cool. Alright, well we'll leave Mark with that, and he'll be finished in a second when he's got to take his front wheel off, if he's going to go ahead and do that, which he should do. So alright then guys,